What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning into the channel. I'm Kevin Duffy. This is Duffy Geeks Out, and I'm coming at you with my top 10 movies that I saw in 2022. I know it's a little delayed. I'm sorry, we're 10 days into 2023 now, but I honestly, I have had a crazy end of the year that it just did not leave me any time to be able to get this list out there the way that I wanted to. So I hope you'll forgive me for that, but let's just jump right into it, shall we? I'm going to come off the top with some honorable mentions for 2022. Honorable mentions for me would be Werewolf by Night, which isn't technically a movie. I don't think it's more of a special kind of featurette that Marvel released. I really loved that movie. I thought it was really cool. Didn't crack the top 10, obviously, for me, for real movies. And then also I enjoyed Black Adam, but it wasn't the best movie I ever saw. So I'd say that was probably just outside of the top 10 as far as, you know, good times I had watching a movie or experiences I had at the theater this year. I'll let you guys know also off the top here, I have not seen every movie that's been released. In fact, there are quite a few big movies that I never saw. So they might not, if they're not on my list, I hope you'll forgive me. I hope to get the chance to see some of these movies soon. And you know what? Maybe they would have changed my list had I seen them in 2022. But I'm going to come off the top and say that. So I haven't seen Avatar: The Way of Water. It's not on this list. I haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, or whatever that movie's called. Those are ones that would definitely probably have cracked my top 10 had I seen them, but I have not seen them. So let's jump right into what I have seen. Coming in at number 10, I have the Netflix movie Troll, which I didn't know if this was going to be a sequel to Troll Hunter, which is a Norwegian film that I love. Campy monster movie, film crew following this troll hunter around, which I thought this might have been a sequel to it. It wasn't. It's its own thing. But damn, this movie was entertaining. Certainly, a big budget went into this as far as Norwegian films go. The special effects were great. The troll looked good. It's not often you get a cool, like, giant monster kaiju movie that's new, that brings anything new into it. But this did it. I really loved the troll. I loved the destruction of it. I loved that the troll had, like, emotion and feelings as it was going through. It wasn't just a mindless creature out to destroy. I loved that. I like that it is kind of an open-ended ending to it where it could be a sequel. I hope it gets one. But yeah, Troll came in at number 10 on my list. Coming in at number 9, that would be The Northman. This is a movie that I was very excited to check out. I like Robert Eggers. I like some of the movies he's done. I like The Lighthouse. This is definitely, I'd say, the best movie of his that I've seen, maybe because it leans a little more into some action, and his other ones are definitely more artsy pieces. So this one definitely brought it home for me. I really enjoyed watching Alexander Skarsgård kind of going to town on some people. Less action in this movie than the trailers led me to believe, but still a pretty cool story. I've really enjoyed the interactions between Alexander Skarsgård and Anya Taylor-Joy. I thought they were great together. They had great chemistry. Nicole Kidman has a pretty cool turn as a character in this movie, as well as weird performances from Willem Dafoe, which Robert Eggers seems to be able to get incredible performances out of that guy, so no shock there. But yeah, The Northman was pretty cool. Came in at number 9 on my list. Good movie, but obviously couldn't crack the top half of my list, but that's okay. There's 10 movies on this list, so The Northman, pretty good watch. Definitely a cool movie to check out if you haven't checked it out. Coming in at number 8 is Bullet Train. Bullet Train was a fun movie that, from the first trailer, I knew this movie was going to be right up my alley. Just a fun action comedy, akin to like an Ocean's 11, but with a little more action. But also kind of a throwback to like the shoot 'em ups and the Smokin' Aces movies of the early 2000s, late 90s, where you get a crazy cast of assassins who are over the top, coming after your main character there and Brad Pitt, and it was good. I thought the performances were great. It was a very fun movie, just like I expected it to be, and yeah, number 8, because it was great. Grade 8. So I really enjoyed Bullet Train. I don't know if it'll get a sequel. I would love to see a spin-off or a prequel with the Tangerine and Lemon. So I don't know if they'll do that. A prequel with them would be cool. A sequel to this movie would be cool. Whatever you can bring to the table. I thought it was a fun movie, and I had a great time watching it. Coming in at number 7, something that I checked out recently, and that was Violent Night. This is the David Harbour Santa Claus movie where he is real-life Santa Claus dropping off presents to a family that is being held hostage by John Leguizamo and his crew. This movie is nothing, just like Bullet Train, nothing but a fun romp with lots of cool fights, lots of cool deaths, and David Harbour is the perfect Santa Claus. And this is like a real Christmas movie. Like, I know there's debate out there, and I won't tell you where I stand on it, but there's debate out there on whether or not Die Hard's a real Christmas movie or not. For me, this movie is unquestionably a real Christmas movie. He's really Santa Claus. There's magic. There's mischief. It's fucking great. I loved Violent Night, and I don't know you'd be able to get a sequel out of this movie, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and if you haven't checked it out, I know that Christmas is over. I still think it's worth a watch. It will be something I watch every Christmas. Moving on to number 6. Another Netflix movie here. We got Glass Onion. Glass Onion is Rian Johnson's follow-up to his hit, incredible caper film, the whodunit that was Knives Out, and Glass Onion obviously called a Knives Out mystery because it is a continuation of Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc's character, and I couldn't wait for this movie to come out. I love Knives Out. When Knives Out came out, I think it was my favorite movie I saw that year, and that surprised me. I might have come out the same year. I can't remember if it was Infinity War or Endgame, but I remember in theaters, I never had a better time at the movies than watching Knives Out, so I was thoroughly excited when they announced that Rian Johnson was going to be making sequels, at least 2, going to Netflix with these, and they were great. I thought this was a great movie, great cast, Edward Norton, Dave Bautista, all stand-up performances. They were all so fun, and obviously Daniel Craig he nails this character every time. Every time he's on screen, I loved it, but this movie definitely not as good as Knives Out. I don't know where it falls with you guys, if you liked it as much as Knives Out. For me, I think the mystery in Knives Out was a little more fun, as where the mystery in Glass Onion's kind of like, oh, once they reveal what the real plot is and the inner workings of what's going on, I thought it was less cool than Knives Out. But still, great acting, fun, funny movie, cool setting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really, really can't wait to check out whatever the third movie's going to be. So, going into the top 5 now. We're cracking top 5 movies of 2022. Coming in at number 5 is Jordan Peele's Nope. Nope was an alien invasion movie-ish, with the Jordan Peele spin on it, and I really dug this movie. It did some things with alien invasions or alien movies that just haven't been done before, haven't been seen before, haven't been even thought up before the way that this is, and I really, really dug this movie, man. I thought the performances were great. I love the uncommon setting of the horse farm or the horse ranch. I thought that was really cool, and the tie-in to cinema or to old school Hollywood was cool. I really liked this movie a lot, man. It was really, really fun. The spin with the alien was amazing, and oh my god, just great performances all around. I thought it was really cool. Truly one of the most bone-chillingly, not scary, but it's got one of the most terrifying scenes in an alien movie or in a horror movie that I've seen in a long time. And I won't spoil what that is, but it takes place about halfway through this movie, and while this scene was going on, I literally got chills at my seat. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that this is in this movie. And it fucked me real good. So I truly love Nope. That's why it sits at number 5 on my list. Number 4 is Prey. Prey is the prequel to Predator, and it went straight to Hulu. And I'm sure that seemed like it made sense at the time for the creators to put this straight to Hulu. But my god, man, this movie fucking banged. This movie was awesome. This would have probably made a shitload of money at the box office. It didn't look like it cost a lot to make. but they fucking executed it perfectly. I love the Predator franchise, even the bad movies. I love them. But holy shit, Prey is great. And the focusing in on the Native American tribe and how this warrior tribe goes up against the Predator. It was awesome. The fur traders were awesome. The whole movie was amazing, and I dug it so much. The only complaint I had about the movie was I didn't love the design of the actual Predator face. I think that the mask was cool, and I think that he was a brooding, they call him the feral predator. He was certainly feral, and I thought he was menacing. And again, they did a whole lot that I loved, and there's very little that I didn't like about that movie. That's why it comes in at number 4 on my list. Now we're jumping into the top 3 here. Top 3 of the year, 2022. Coming in at number 3, a movie that I had... I didn't even want to see it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to see this movie because I don't love the original movie. I love a lot of 80s movies, but this movie was not one of the ones that I ever really gravitated towards growing up. This would be Top Gun Maverick, right? Top Gun Maverick it comes in at number 3. It is a movie that I had no interest in seeing. I have no attachment to the original Top Gun. So when me and my wife decided to go and see this movie, one of the few times I got her to go to the movies with me in the last couple of years. We have kids. We don't get to go out together very often. So, but yeah, I was like, let's go check out Top Gun Maverick. And she was like, all right, I guess so. We loved this movie. We loved this movie. I don't know that I love it enough to go back and watch Top Gun again to kind of see how I feel about that movie now. But holy shit, knowing just enough about Top Gun, having seen it before, I loved Top Gun Maverick. This is a movie that is done exactly right. It elevates the story, gives you the characters from the original, while just feeding you enough of that nostalgia while creating its own story to get everybody to love it. And the acting is great. Tom Cruise did great. Miles Teller did great. Oh my God, Val Kilmer, his scene, I cried. I cried for a character that I don't even love from the original Top Gun because I don't love the original Top Gun. This movie, it did everything right, man. I love this movie. I'm so glad it made so much money. I'm so glad that Tom Cruise pushed for them to keep it in theaters and not release it early. He did it right, man, and all the kudos to that man. All the money he's making on this, because the word around the campfire is he has a pretty sizable paycheck coming to him from Paramount as a result of all the residuals for this movie. So I love this movie. I don't know if they'll ever make another one. I don't think they should because this was perfect. Don't touch it again. Top Gun Maverick, number 3. Number 2. There are 2 movies left that I saw in theaters this year. And I truly had a tough time deciding which one I was going to put as number 1 and what was going to put as number 2. But I'll explain why number 1's where it's at after I explain number 2, I guess. But number 2 is The Batman. I loved The Batman. I saw it in theaters twice. It's the only movie I saw in theaters twice this year. It did everything I wanted a Batman movie to do. It gave me a not realistic, but like almost a comic realistic Gotham. Gotham was its own character, which I have not felt in a Batman movie in years. I mean, going back to Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, I don't think I felt that Gotham had its own presence the way that I did in The Batman. I thought Robert Pattinson's portrayal as the Dark Knight was incredible. I think he needed to do a little bit more work with his Bruce Wayne, but again, this is supposed to be year 2 Batman. He hasn't figured that shit out yet. He hasn't realized he needs the Bruce Wayne mask to help, push suspicion off himself as being this brooding Night Stalker. But I thought he was awesome. I thought that Commissioner Gordon was awesome. The 2 of them like going together trying to solve this crime was fucking rad. I loved it. I loved the Riddler. I thought Paul Dano was all parts scary. I mean, like, holy shit, the opening scene is fucking nuts. Fucking nuts to have an opening scene like that in a Batman movie. Later on, he gets a little more silly, a little less kind of the menace goes away. But again, I had one real complaint in this movie. It was the shoehorned in Joker scene, which I thought should have been a post-credit scene and not thrown in the movie where it was. But that's my only complaint about that movie. I thought it was awesome. I love the Penguin. I can't believe Colin Farrell played this character so well. I'm glad he's getting a spin-off. I can't wait to see where this universe goes with these characters as they're set up. I thought Selena Kyle was awesome. I mean, everything about this movie was perfect. It's my favorite Batman movie. So that's where you have me with my Batman movies. It's my favorite. But it was only number 2 on my list of movies in 2022. This next one, like I said, I'll explain why this movie is where it is for me. Number 1, Clerks 3. Clerks 3 was a movie that I was excited to see, but I really didn't have such high hopes for, because Kevin Smith's movies have been, hit or miss over the last 3 or 4 that he's released. And that's just his choice, what he wants to make. He's a filmmaker that knows what he wants to make, and he's just going to make what he wants in this day and age. He's not doing anything to kind of push past what he's comfortable with, his comfort zone. But Clerks 3 came out of the blue, and man, I cried 3 times. 3 times in Clerks 3. If you had told me going into Clerks 3 that I was going to cry 3 times, I would tell you you're crazy. But I did. I cried 3 times. I think it was a beautiful story. He closed out the Clerks trilogy in such a beautiful way, and the acting was phenomenal. I mean, holy shit. Brian O'Halloran, I think I fucked that name up, but Brian O'Halloran, who plays Dante, he fucking did such a performance in this movie. It was great. I truly cried, like I said, 3 times in this movie, 3 times. But then I laughed a ton too. I laughed so much. And it just, as a kid who grew up watching Mallrats, I had a VHS tape of Mallrats. I was the first one out of my group of friends to see a Kevin Smith movie. I passed it on to my friends. They passed it on to everybody that they knew. It was a thing. This VHS tape of Mallrats that made its way through my through my middle school, and to go full circle and see this cast of characters be able to close out this trilogy, to see Kevin Smith be able to tell a story that is so personal to him and yet advance these characters in such a way. It was amazing. I loved Clerks 3. I've watched it like 5 times since I saw it. So it's the most watched movie I've done this year, and I just loved it. I loved it so much, and I can't wait for what Kevin Smith does next. But that's it for me, guys. That's my top 10 movies of 2022. Let me know in the comments what you think about this list. Is there anything on here that would be on your top 10 list from last year? Or is there anything on here that you're like, what the fuck do you have that on your list for, man? That's crazy. Whatever you think about it, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll come at you with my most anticipated movies of 2023 really soon. See ya.